Hello and welcome to Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewike with the news on the hour. A fight almost ensued during the early hours of Sunday at the National Convention of the All Progressive Congress between the faction of Senator Osita Izunaso and Governor Okorocha. The situation was, however, brought under control through the intervention of the police and other party leaders. However, there are possibilities that the result of the election to the office of the National Organizing Secretary may not be announced as agreed by both parties. A hint to this effect was given by the chairman of the convention committee and Jigawa State Governor Abubakar Badaru as a result of the tension sparked by the election. Izunaso, who is seeking a re-election, has the support of leaders of the party from the southeast. But Governor Okorocha, in a bid to redeem his political image, is said to be in support of another candidate. The situation came to a head when Okorocha virtually lost control of the party to Izunaso during the ward, local and state congresses. Plus TV gathered that the atmosphere at the convention venue was made more tense by the fact that some people who were not authentic delegates made it to the venue. At the end of polling, however, Barrister Ima Ebediro is suspected to have clinched the contested seat. Plus TV Africa's Mary Chinda reports live from the venue of the convention.
Today is Sunday and the convention is still ongoing. Started off yesterday at about 2 p.m. and the delegates from all 24 states of Nigeria have really been in high spirit. The atmosphere is still charged and people are happy. They seem to be quite excited. It seems to be like a carnival. It also seems to be like a festival here. The Imo State stand just right behind me seems to be the most vibrant, and I hear that the reason is because the organizing secretary of the party emerged from Imo State, and things seem to be just going on well, and delegates are out here in high spirit and they are waiting for the announcement of the results. I'm going to bring you details as this unfolds. My name is Mary Chinda. This is Plus TV Africa.
Meanwhile, the dancing and jubilations have continued at the Imo State section of the convention venue as delegates await the formal declaration of the results. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has accused President Muhammadu Buhari of refusing to act on corruption allegations against the new national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Oshiomole, in his desperation to acquire the party's 2019 ticket. PDP National Publicity Secretary Kola Olugbodiyan, in a statement reacting to the election at APC National Convention held yesterday, June 23, further noted that aside Oshiomole, other preferred individuals have heavy corruption allegations to answer, which Buhari is trading for the presidential ticket. The statement condemned what it described as the open intimidation and physical assault on aspirants and delegates at the convention, while calling on Nigerians and the international community to mark the clear desperation of President Buhari's handlers ahead of the 2019 elections. The PDP is of the opinion that going by the character, personality and outlook of the incoming national executives of the APC, the party has been finally sunk by President Buhari and his power-hungry cabal. At At about 8:30 p.m. yesterday, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, a member of the People's Democratic Party and a 2019 presidential aspirant, was confirmed by sources to have been in a closed-door meeting with former Governor of Kano State, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who is a member of the ruling All Progressive Congress. The meeting took place at the residence of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in Asokoro, Abuja. The meeting, held during the course of the All Progressive Party Convention, which also held in Abuja, the reason for Kwankwaso's absence at the convention was not made known, but he has been at loggerheads with the APC in his state and at the national level. This may be a gradual migration plan from APC to certain speculations regarding the former governor's plans to exit the APC. Mr. Chukwuma Machukwume, who is the counsel to the former Deputy Governor of Abia State and Senator representing Abia South Senatorial District, Enyinanya Abaribe, says the Department of State Security is detaining Abaribe for allegedly supporting the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra as well as gun running. Machukwume, a senior advocate of Nigeria, stated this in Abuja yesterday, saying that a search warrant dated June 2, 2018 was presented during Thursday's visit by the DSS to Abaribe's home. Permitted DSS to search for arms and ammunition, including incriminating documents to link the senator with IPOB. According to him, 27 non-incriminating items were taken away by the operatives after the 6-hour, 15-minute search. The senator, who is a shorty to Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader at large, is scheduled to appear in court on June 26. The Public Relations Officer at Adamawa State Police Command, Superintendent Usman Abubakar, has confirmed the attack on Dowayan Village at Demsa Local Council of Adamawa State on Friday night, in which 21 persons were allegedly killed, calling it a reprisal by suspected headsmen. In an interaction with journalists yesterday, Abubakar stated that a report was filed by an officer on June 18, indicating that youths had attacked and razed a Fulani settlement following a series of violent clashes between the herders and settlers in Girie, Numan and Demsa local councils. Eyewitnesses claim the fresh crisis began when members of a vigilance group in Demsa attacked the home of an influential businessman guarded by Fulani militia, killing 2 of his children. So far, no arrests have been made. The Islamic movement in Nigeria, also known as Shiites, has denied responsibility for the death of a policeman in protest in Kaduna on Thursday, blaming his death on the police and hired thugs. Secretary of Shiites Media Forum Abdulmumin Giwa at a press conference said there is evidence that senior police officers met with those they described as thugs, called the civilian JTF, on Wednesday and plotted the murder of their colleague during the procession to press for the freedom of their leader, Sheikh El-Zakzaki. Giwa said the movement, under the leadership of El-Zakzaki, has never condoned violence in spite of all the persecution members face across the country. According to him, since December 2015, the movement has lost 23 members to police bullets and at least 5 this year alone, but did not resort to violence, but has turned to the courts to seek for rights to peaceful protest. A yet-to-be-identified police inspector narrowly escaped lynching after accidentally shooting and killing a 38-year-old woman, Ebelechukwu Emeka, in Onitsha, Anambra State, on Saturday. The unnamed officer, attached to a joint task force created by Governor Willie Obiano, codename Operation Watchapel, is said to have forgotten to apply the safety catch of his AK-47 rifle, causing it to go off while he made to hold it up. The victim, who is from Danu Kofia local government area of the state, was said to be standing by the roadside when she was hit. The State Command's Public Relations Officer, SP Mohammed Haruna, confirming the incident, said police patrol teams from the Ojoto division rushed to the scene and rescued the inspector, who had been beaten to a pulp by an angry mob. He said both the inspector and the victim were rushed to Shahara Hospital for medical attention, where the woman was confirmed dead by the medical doctor and her corpse deposited at Gateway Mortuary, Oba, for autopsy. And on the foreign scene, Turks at 8 a.m. today began voting in presidential and parliamentary elections, a process critics say poses the biggest challenge to Tayyip Erdogan and his Islamic-rooted AK party since they came into power more than a decade and a half ago. The election will also usher in a powerful new executive presidency backed by a small majority of Turks in a 2017 referendum, which analysts say will further erode democracy and entrench a one-man rule. More than 56 million people are registered to vote at 180,000 ballot boxes across Turkey. Recall that Erdogan had moved the elections forward from November 2019 with the argument that new powers would better enable him to tackle the nation's mounting economic problems. Leaders of 16 European Union members are converging in an emergency meeting in Brussels to discuss possible ways to resolve the migration crisis, which is causing deep tensions among members in the bloc. The meeting provides an opportunity for German Chancellor Angela Merkel to find possible solutions as she faces a domestic crisis that threatens her 3-month-old coalition government. Her Interior Minister had last week threatened to unilaterally implement an immigration master plan. The Chancellor is opposed to one that aims to send migrants who have already registered elsewhere in the EU away at the German border. Today's meeting, at the instance of the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, comes ahead of an important EU summit on migration policy scheduled for June 28 and 29. 2 people have been confirmed dead, with several others wounded after a grenade attack at a rally in Addis Ababa Mescal Square for Ethiopia's new Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Ethiopia's health minister, in a tweet confirming the deaths, said 44 people remain in hospital, 5 of them in a critical condition. Ethiopian officials say 8 policemen and the capital's deputy chief of police is in custody over what they describe as security lapses. Mr. Abiy has described the attack as an unsuccessful attempt by forces who do not want to see Ethiopia united. Zimbabwe's president, Emerson Mnangagwa, has assured that the elections planned for 30th July will go on despite yesterday's bomb attack at his presidential rally. He escaped unhurt on Saturday when an object exploded a few inches away from him as he moved to step away from the podium after delivering his speech. The blast is the latest in a series of threats to the president's life. The president, however, appealed for unity, even as he said the incident was senseless and uncalled for. The election is the first in Zimbabwe since former President Robert Mugabe was forced out of office after 37 years in power. It is also the first to be monitored by international observers since 2002. And in business, Jonathan Friedland, the chief communications officer at Netflix, has been fired for showing low levels of racial awareness, according to his boss, the company's chief executive officer, Reed Hastings. Hastings claimed that although Friedland had been very monumental in strengthening the Netflix brand globally, his lack of sensitivity in this department was not acceptable to the company. Reed went on to explain that there is never a contest where the N-word is ever appropriate, as it is hurtful, and there is no way to neutralize the emotion and history behind the word. Friedland seems to be regretting his action as he disclosed on Twitter that he felt awful about the lapse in his ethics at a company he has a great love for. A consensus has been made between Russia, OPEC and other oil-producing countries to ensure a consistent production of oil, as a failure of that could lead to an oil deficit and impair economic growth globally. Saudi Arabia's energy minister Khalid Al-Falil assured that both OPEC and non-OPEC would pump at least additional 1 million barrels of oil per day, which is approximately 1% of the total global supply. Alexander Novak, Russia's energy minister, also committed to 200,000 barrels per day for the second half of 2018. The United States, however, did not participate in this pact, although they rival Russia and Saudi Arabia as the world's foremost oil producer. Tokumbo is up next with entertainment news. Hi, Tokumbo.
And in entertainment, AGN President Emeka Rollas challenges Pascal Atuma to name prostitutes in Nollywood following the latest announcement by movie director Pascal Atuma that for one to succeed in Nollywood, one has to be a prostitute. The president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, Emeka Rollas, has reacted furiously, saying it is unfortunate for the person of Atuma, who has benefited immensely from the input of these so-called prostitutes and pimps, to utter such an irresponsible statement. He went on further to state that the Actors Guild of Nigeria is a responsible body that has contributed immensely to the economy of this country. Our fame has grown beyond what many expect. We are good ambassadors of this country. Every successful actor has earned his or her worth by dint of hard work, personal improvement, and the collective support of Nigerians who have abiding faith in our trade. I also want to challenge Atuma to name names of the prostitutes if he's sure of his hollow claim. Top actors are already reacting to Atuma's controversial statement, like Ruth Kadiri, who has cautioned Atuma to stop generalizing. American-Japanese actress and singer Merle Dandridge has filed for divorce. Merle, who leads the cast in Oprah Winfrey's TV drama series Greenleaf, filed for a divorce on Wednesday to end her 7-year marriage to husband Christopher Johnson. According to media reports, Merle and Christopher, who got married in 2011, do not have any children together. Merle has starred in the night shift Rosewood TV shows Greenleaf, Sons of Anarchy. The actress also won the BAFTA Award for her voiceover performance on Everybody's Gone to Rapture in 2015. Amidst tears, actress Mercy Johnson Okogie has buried her mother. She showed gratitude to the people who stood by her during the period of her mourning and the burial, alongside her husband Prince Odi Okogie. It will be recalled that Mercy Johnson a few weeks ago announced the demise of her mother, and she pleaded with the general public to grant her and her family privacy during their period of grief and loss. American record producer Suge Knight, who is currently in jail, has taken up footing the bill for his mother's funeral, even though he's not allowed to attend. Reports say Knight is spending well over $20,000 to cover the cost of burying his late mom, Maxine Chapman, who died a week ago after suffering a stroke. Suge, who is a murder convict, does not enjoy the privilege of attending funerals, and according to a reliable source, he is devastated by this. What makes it worse is the fact that he's not allowed to get pictures of the service, as he's not permitted to get any mail. Maxine Chapman died at the age of 77. Her funeral will be held early next month at Rose Hills Memorial Park in Whittier, California. And that's it on entertainment. Up next is Udoka with the sports news.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku. A World Cup update, right? Harry Kane got a hat-trick as England thrashed World Cup debutants Panama by 6-1. John Stones got a brace, and Jesse Lingard also was on the goal scorer sheet. And England has qualified for the round of 16 and will have to avoid defeat against Belgium to top Group G. Harry Kane has scored the most goals for England at a World Cup in 28 years. And England also scored 6 goals at the World Cup for the first time. An update on the game going on at the moment. Senegal currently leading the opponents in the World Cup, with Sadio Mane scoring in the 11th minute. And as Argentina prepare to take on Nigeria in a match that is the last hope for both countries, Lionel Messi opens up on his desire of achieving greatness by winning the World Cup. A win for either Nigeria or Argentina will see one through to the round of 16. And Lionel Messi has said he doesn't want to retire until he wins the biggest trophy in football. And there were reports that the Argentina camp is in chaos, as some of the players want the coach Sampaoli stripped off effectively before the game against Nigeria. Still on the World Cup, Paul Pogba, France midfielder, admits that the Russia 2018 World Cup might be his last World Cup. His team look forward to their final Group C game against Denmark. The Manchester United star has come in for under criticism over the course of the last season, but remains part of Didier Deschamps' plans. And he said he is realistic, and he also went on to say that he doesn't know if he'll be called up. Maybe other players will be better than himself. And he says he hopes that he'll be playing more for France, and he has already had the chance to play 2 World Cups, and some can only dream to play 1. France have already qualified for the round of 16 and will secure top spot if they avoid defeat. And Paul Pogba has started both games for the Blues, the 2-1 victory over Australia and a narrow 1-0 win over Peru. And both Pogba and France have failed to find their best form yet, but their ability to win ugly may stand them in good stead. And there's a chance the 25-year-old could be rested on Tuesday ahead of the knockout stages, with France's progression from the group assured. Moving over to tennis, Thomas Berdych has been forced to pull out of Wimbledon with a back injury. And the Czech, who was beaten by champion Roger Federer in last year's semi-finals and who lost the 2010 final to Rafael Nadal, said he has had back pain for a couple of months. And the 32-year-old world number 19 is expected to be out for several weeks. Wimbledon runs at the All England Club in London from the 2nd to the 15th of July 2018. And that's it on Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. Back to you, Felicity.
Thank you, Udoka. And that's the size of our package this evening. Thanks for watching. My name is Felicity Ezewike. Do enjoy the rest of your day.